Welcome back to Misty and Ike, everybody. What are we talking about today, Misty?
We're going to talk about plot twists at the end of movies.
Best plot twists ever.
Yep. We're going to just spoil it for everybody.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Let's get into it.
I'm Misty.
And I'm Ike.
For the next 15 minutes,
We're going to debate pop culture.
my background's in music.
My background's in film.
I know the topics beforehand.
And I don't.
We check the internet for the facts.
And ruin it with opinions.
From pop rocks in your lunchbox.
To Happy Meal toys and swatch clocks. Best movie plot twists ever.
There's so many good ones.
Do you remember the first one that you ever saw that was like, whoa, movies can change at the end like that?
Oh, good question. Shit.
I think the first one that shocked me was The Sixth Sense.
You know what? I would have said that except for it didn't shock me. I was one of those people that got it in the first 5 minutes.
No way.
Yep.
You're a genius.
Yep. I was like, wait, he's dead. And then at the end, like I went with a couple of people and they're like, oh my God. And I was like, I can't tell them that I knew the whole time. Like, they'll hate me.
Yeah, I hate you now for knowing that.
Yeah, sorry. I did. It just, I don't know why.
Yeah.
And maybe it's something in my brain also with the way that M. Night Shyamalan does his movies, because I knew in The Village too.
Oh, you knew that was a regular, like, in current town?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then The Lady in the Water. Like,
Okay.
all of his movies I've been able to figure out before the very end. But it's not like that with all movies. Like, there are a lot of movies that shock the shit out of me at the end.
Yeah.
But his, which are traditionally known for having those twists, I've always been able to figure them out before they're over.
I have to change my answer about the first one ever.
Okay.
Because I saw it in high school, and we forgot about The Usual Suspects.
Tell me more.
I mean, at the end, you have no idea about this fantastical story, and you watch this great action, and a super awesome crime was committed, and he's just sitting there being interviewed. And then it turns out he's just reading stuff off of a bulletin board behind the cop that's interviewing him. Yep. I feel like if I was having a conversation with you and you just started talking about things behind me, I would put it together.
Right.
But he didn't.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
Yep. That's true. You know, one of my other favorite ones that's a lot more recent?
What's that?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Well, I mean, everybody knows the end of that.
It didn't end like how it really ended. Have you watched it?
Yeah, I've seen it twice.
Yeah.
It's close enough.
Not even close. They all died in real life.
Yeah.
They made it through it in reality.
No.
Or in the movie.
I think they left enough room at the end for him to go off and kill him later.
I did not think that at all.
Oh.
I love the way that he rewrote history. I thought that I don't think going into that movie, I was expecting that at all. That was a definite plot twist to me. I was like, oh, wait, I thought this whole movie was about the reality of it. So maybe not exactly what you think of as a plot twist, but to me, that was a plot twist.
Yeah. Have we talked about Scream yet?
We can always talk about Scream.
I mean,
you know this. You know it's one of my favorite movies ever.
Did you know the killer the whole time?
No, I did not at all.
I went back.
Any of them, I didn't know.
Yeah, I went back and tried to like frame by frame watch that movie a couple times to try and go like, wait, he couldn't have been here if he was here,
right?
And
try to trip them up.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I had no idea. I didn't know in 2 or 3. 4, I wasn't even really trying to figure out.
I don't remember 4.
4 was just like a mashup. Like it was like a movie inside of a movie inside of a movie. Like all kinds of like, like throwbacks to trilogies and all this crazy shit. Like I was just so enthralled with like taking in and putting together like, oh wait, that was, so-and-so who was in this trilogy too. And
yeah,
I didn't even care who the killer was. But no, I had absolutely no idea that it was her boyfriend and her friend.
So weird.
I actually thought it was her dad.
Yeah.
I was one of the people that I was like, it's got to be your dad.
Right. I remember
and then he falls out of the closet and you're like, oh, fuck.
Right. I remember also thinking that some of the spinoffs, like I Know What You Did Last Summer and a couple of those other ones, like with the hook and stuff, I remember like trying to figure those out too, and I just couldn't get it.
No. One of my favorites, since we're on horror movies, though, The Cabin in the Woods.
The Cabin in the Woods. The first one?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, are there more than one?
Oh, what am I thinking of? I'm thinking
Where they're
of
like
the
killing
cabin.
them off, and then at the very end, you see like Bradley Whitford and the Sigourney Weaver, and they're like controlling all of it, and they tell the story that they're actually like sacrifices to this god, that if they continue sacrificing.
You never saw it.
You never saw it.
I don't watch horror movies, dude. They
but
scare
you watch
me.
Scream.
Well, that was different.
Cabin in the Woods is very along the same lines and in the same era as Scream.
Hmm.
Like it's a few years later, but it's very much along those lines. Like it's campy and there's comedy in it, and it's got the hottest up and coming like teen, young 20 stars, but it's the same thing. It's a definite twist at the end where you're like, wait, what the fuck? That came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Because the whole time you're watching it just like a normal horror movie of a bunch of teenagers being killed. And then you realize there's an ultimate like story behind that story.
Did you know the whole time during Fight Club?
I did not. And that is another one that's my absolute favorite.
That took me a couple watches also. It's like, how could he be dead? He's sitting right there. They're talking to each other. Or not dead, but not existent.
Right. It's an imagination in his head.
That
He's
was
created
nuts to me.
Yeah. No, I had no idea. And at the very end of it, I was like, but I feel like also that's kind of, it's funny because now that I think about this, most of my favorites actually involve Brad Pitt.
Surprise.
Fight Club.
Yeah.
Seven's
insane.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
He must really like the same kind of movies as me, which means that we should probably hang out.
Yeah. I mean, if I had to guess, I mean, he's also made 500 other movies.
Yeah, but those three, I mean, I really liked those, and he liked them.
All signs point to you guys getting married, so.
We don't even have to get married.
Okay, moving right along.
We could just...
Planet of the Apes.
Which one?
I don't know. This one on this list, this isn't an original thought.
There's so many.
This is the 1968 Planet of the Apes.
Okay.
The twist is that it was always just the human planet, but the apes had evolved. I don't know. That's not a big deal for me.
Yeah.
This one's fallen off a cliff. What about Citizen Kane?
I haven't seen Citizen Kane in a really long time.
Okay, then.
To be honest with you, I don't really remember the premise of it.
What about... Man, I'm having a hard... See, this has Star Wars in it, which I didn't see any plot twists in Star Wars.
No.
It's just the story unfolding.
Yeah.
Oh, the part where Darth Vader reveals, "No, I am your father."
Oh.
That was a big deal.
Okay, yeah.
That's one of the biggest deals in cinematic
I mean, that's
history.
fair. That's... Yeah.
What do you got?
Well, let's see.
You have a list?
I have a couple of them, but a lot of these are not jumping out at me. But I can tell you one of my favorites that I super duper like. I believe there are two movies, and they came out around the same time and had some of the same people. Inception.
Okay.
Like, I kind of felt like, to me, Inception, it wasn't necessarily a complete plot twist at the end, but you were just like, what the actual fuck is happening?
Well, he's known for doing like time bendy magoos.
Right.
I mean, what's the first?
But
the
the
first
other
one
one is Shutter Island.
Oh.
Which had Leo and Mark Ruffalo.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, I'm trying to think. I mean, obviously, it's old enough that I can spoiler it, but it was probably one of the absolute most shocking endings to me of any movie that I've ever watched, that I did not in any way, shape, or form think that there was a giant plot twist coming. Most of the time you can kind of see that there's going to be something that happens.
Right.
Because, like, you get through the movie and you're like, this can't be it. Like, there has to be some explosive ending to it. Because, like, there's just not enough of it without it.
Mm-hmm.
But there was so much going on in the movie that had happened that I was like, if it would have ended before the plot twist, I would have been just as satisfied with it.
Right.
I would have been like, that was a great fucking movie.
Right.
And then the end happened. I was like, what the fuck? How do you make, it's almost like making an entire movie and then slapping a whole nother ending on it.
It's like a movie at the end of a movie.
Right.
You know what one
Stupid
is
to
not on
explain it
any
that
of these
way.
lists?
Tell me.
Contact. And she's like, I've been there. I've seen all this stuff. But then the footage is her just dropping through.
Oh, you're
and
so right.
Nobody believes her.
Nope.
That's nuts.
Wow.
Yeah.
I haven't thought about that movie in a really long time.
I love it. It's one of my favorites. I might watch it tonight.
There's another one that's kind of similar to that. It's got Amy Adams in it.
Oh,
Arrival.
Yeah.
Arrival is very much like that too. The whole time you're just like, no, you need to be able to do the thing. And then at the very end, she does the thing, and you're just like, fuck yeah. But it's very much like Contact.
All right, how about this? It's not a huge plot twist, but it's definitely like something you didn't see coming. In Armageddon, when they're on the rock,
Okay.
and they're drilling,
Right.
and like I think one of the guys gets blown off the rock or
Yeah,
something.
he does.
And then one of the bombs doesn't go off.
Yeah.
And then
And so one of them has to go back and make it go off.
It's Bruce Willis, right?
Yeah.
Bruce Willis stays behind.
Yeah, that's right.
And he talks-
I couldn't remember if it was him or Ben Affleck.
Yeah, and he talks to his daughter, and
Right.
That was like-
Who's Ben Affleck's girlfriend. Oh,
yeah,
man.
man.
What about Gone Girl?
See, it's been a minute, but did it turn out at the end that he did it the whole time?
No, she comes back.
Oh, she comes back.
So she actually ends up hooking up after being on her own and running away. She ends up hooking up with the guy that she dated and maybe or wanted to date her in college. She's given everyone the impression that he's obsessed with her because he has written letters, but the whole time she's actually low key been kind of leading him on and stringing him along. And so he thinks that that he's rescuing her, and she ends up killing him and saying she had to do it out of self-defense because he was obsessed with her. And she goes back to her husband and goes, see what I can do? Fucking straighten up.
Whoa, you did all that to prove a point?
Yep.
Crazy.
No wonder men are scared of women.
Did you ever see Knives Out?
Oh my God, I love it so much.
But knowing that it's a murder mystery going into it kind of takes a little bit of the edge off of it, right?
Yeah, kind of. I was super excited because one of my roommate and I, we talk about this a lot. One of her favorite movies in the world is Clue, and I also love Clue, the original Clue movie. And I felt like Knives Out was kind of like a throwback to that old school murder mystery movie that we don't get a lot of those anymore that are just fun.
The whodunit.
Right. That are super fun. And it was a definite
I thought
plot
the old
twist.
man was going to come back the whole time.
So did I.
I thought he was faking it.
So did I. And then I really loved how they tied together all the individual stories. What people were doing.
Yeah, I need to watch that again too.
What about The Departed?
The Departed. That's a good one, man.
When Sullivan figures out the identity and shoots him in the head. Super fast.
Man, the Wicked Departed.
Yep. That's a good one. Definitely a good one.
On this list I have, it says Ex Machina. Machina?
Ex Machina.
Ex Machina. I don't remember the end of that one, but it seems like it's on this list for a reason.
I don't really remember it either.
Do you remember Donnie Darko?
Absolutely.
What happened at
I used
the
to
end?
watch it once a week.
What happened at the end?
Whew.
And did you see the sequel?
I did not see Samantha Darko. I refused.
Oh, there's Donnie Darko 2 also.
Oh. What's it called? It's just called Donnie Darko 2.
I think so. The second one.
Interesting. I watched that during a phase of my life that I was maybe imbibing in some illegal substances and in a pretty dark place in my life. So to be honest with you, it's been a good solid 20 some years since I've watched it.
Okay.
So
What about the end of the Encyclopedia's Guide to the Galaxy?
I don't. Please don't get mad at me. I don't think I've seen it.
Oh, treat yourself.
Okay.
There's something about a computer. I don't want to blow it.
Yeah,
but,
I don't.
Like
I don't think I actually watched it.
It takes forever to do this math equation about the meaning of life, and then it comes off. It's like the meaning of life is 47. Like it just spits out this number.
Oh God! What about Psycho?
I don't remember the end of Psycho.
Norman Bates.
I mean,
So Marion Crane
kills
is
everybody, right?
murdered. Yeah. The whole time, like, so the lady's killed, and it's by the mentally ill mother of Norman Bates. That's the plot. It ends up that Norman Bates actually killed his mom and developed a split personality. And so he's Norman Bates and his mom. And so he murdered her disguised as his mother. That's the plot twist at the end. You're like, oh my God, that's actually Norman Bates, not his mom. You don't realize that he had murdered his mom years before.
Oh, weird.
Mm-hmm.
You know, along those same lines of like early movies that kind of like shock you, and I think I didn't bring this up earlier because you said you got all the ends of M. Night Shyamalan films. Mm-hmm. Did you get the end of Unbreakable?
Is that where he falls into the mud puddle? No, that's Glass.
So there's
right?
Unbreakable, then there's Glass, and then they made Split right after it.
Right. Fucking hate Split. I love James McAvoy, and it almost made me like not like him because I was so angry at that movie.
It's too many characters.
Okay, so Unbreakable is where Samuel L. Jackson is the comic book character.
He likes comics, and he's in a wheelchair, and then Bruce Willis is the security guard at the football arena.
Right.
And he can't be hurt, but anything Samuel L. Jackson does gets him hurt.
Right. And what was the plot twist
at the end? It was because Samuel L. Jackson was he was like the victim throughout the whole thing. He was like telling Bruce Willis where to go, and at the end, it turns out he was the villain.
I may have to give that a rewatch.
All three of them,
actually.
That and Glass.
So if I were to watch all three of them, would I like Split better?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Absolutely. James McAvoy doesn't come into it
because I'm not sure that I even watched. No, I did watch Glass because that's when he drowns in the mud puddle. Right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Glass is just basically Unbreakable 2.
Right.
And then Split is just kind of like the finale of all three.
Right. Okay.
But they made Glass and Split like pretty close to each other.
I may have to rewatch those.
Yeah.
What about Friday the 13th?
Oh, yeah. You're kidding yourself if you think I ever watched that.
Okay. Well, the whole time, there are these murders at Camp Crystal Lake, right?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's like, oh my God, it's... So, obviously something terrible happened at Camp Crystal Lake years before. There was the body of a boy who was never found. So all these counselors go out to go and reopen the camp, and they start getting murdered one by one. And everyone's like, it's Jason, the boy that was never found. Like, he's come to exact his revenge. Well, it ends up, the plot twist in it is that it's not actually Jason. It's his mother who believes that her son died because all of the camp counselors were drunk and hooking up.
There's a lady in that jumpsuit?
Yeah!
Is there always a lady in that jumpsuit? And all the Friday the 13th?
No, that's just the original Friday the 13th.
No.
It's just the original because at the very end...
Michael Myers.
So there's one counselor that survives named Alice who kills Mrs. Voorhees. And while Alice is standing there waiting for help from the police, she gets attacked by the decaying body of Jason.
Gross.
Oh, it's so good. I love horror.
That slaps.
Sorry, that does slap.
Something came to mind while you were saying that. I think it was Lake Placid.
Yeah.
With the grandma at the end.
It was played by Betty White, right?
Was it?
I'm pretty sure.
That was so amazing.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we got for movie plot twists, guys. Yeah. I guess we should have said twists at the end because there's twists in every movie.
It's true. There is.
In the first and second acts. But
yeah.
That was a good week.
It was a good week.
That's 125 episodes of content for you there, folks.
Whew. On fire.
We would love for you to like and subscribe on all the platforms. If you're getting us on audio, you probably already have subscribed, but give us a rating on iTunes if you can, or Spotify. That really helps. Subscribe on YouTube if you haven't done it already. Go ahead and click like and turn on post notifications and follow us on Facebook and drop us a heart on your Instagram.
That's a lot of stuff.
We're probably not going to tweet at you, but we have one. Follow us at Misty and
We
Ike.
do have one. And
Yeah.
I'm a little more active on the Twitter than you are. But, yeah.
We're everywhere you want to be.
We literally are everywhere. So,
can't make
if
it
you're
easier
watching
for
this,
you.
come find us because we're where you're at.
And the biggest help for us, if you want to be part of the crew, tell a friend, share this with a friend. Tell them how awesome you think our show is because we think you're awesome. Yep. And why don't you have yourself a great Friday? While you're having a weekend, we'll be on Patreon, giving our folks an extra bonus 15 minutes on Saturday and Sunday.
Patreoning.
only-
Patreon.com.
For less than a cup of
and
coffee,
Ike.
you too can have 8 extra episodes a month.
It's true.
And that's all the sales pitch we have for you today, folks. We'll see you on Monday.
Okay, bye.